Victoria Patricia, better known as Tori Deal, is among the challenge's most memorable players, managing to stand out with a television series that ran for 39 seasons and 3 spin-off shows, those being the Challenge USA, the Challenge All-Stars, and the Challenge World Championship. Love her or hate her, she is a star. We the viewers got to witness her development over the course of the show, much like many of the challenge participants. Allegedly having an affair with a competitor who would eventually become her fiancé, only for their devastating breakup to occur, all of which took place in front of millions of the show's viewers, who were more often than not critical. Overall, Tori's personality comes through in every season, captivating and exciting fans with her charming demeanor and physical powers. Tori was born in March 1993 in New York City. She is a fellow Pisces, and as of filming this video, she is currently 30 years of age. Game show competitor and reality television star Tori Deal became well known in 2016 after making her debut on the reality dating program Are You the One and Are You the One Second Chances, in quest of love and the opportunity to win $1 million. Tori met her then partner Derek Henry on the show Are You the One? The pair signed up for the challenge season 30, which was dubbed 30-30.
Conniving, and cunning players we could find. But above all, the most downright dirty. That being said, I'd like to welcome everybody to the challenge, Dirty 30.
Considering how both of them were coming in as rookies, Tori would outlast him all the way to the final, dominating physically as well as having a rather strong strategic play, which gained her the title of Rookie of the Year amongst her fellow competitors, a title well deserved. Traditionally, rookies are considered sitting ducks on the challenge and are often picked out first. However, by aligning herself with strong female competitors, Tori was able to avoid eliminations all season except for one. When push came to shove, Tori managed to defeat her vet opponent, Marie, and continue her rather impressive game. Given that this was Tori's first season, her performance at the final earned her a respectable third-place finish and a nice cash prize of $15,000, which was not bad at all. Jordan and Camilla, the first-place finishers, each took home $450,000. As Dirty 30 came to an end, it seemed like Jordan and Tori had a mutually respectful relationship with occasional flirtation.
$1 million. Very close. Jor.
There was definitely chemistry between the two, and it most likely got stronger every day that Tori stayed in the house. It was revealed during the reunion that Tori and Jor did in fact hook up, but it only happened after the final has been completed, and that Tori may not have been entirely honest with her previous partner Derek about her feelings or the relationship that followed, all of which resulted in an odd but humorous exchange between the three of them, in which Tori admitted to her mistakes and apologized to Derek, stating that she and Jordan have a close friendship. Honestly, at this point, even the blind can see their chemistry. As part of the unexpected storyline twist, the couple returned for the 31st season of The Challenge as mercenaries. Along with Anissa and Derek, Jordan and Tori arrived to compete against the season's remaining competitors. Jordan would go on to win his battle, but Tori would lose to Cam, a rookie who won this match and earned herself the title of Killer Cam. In her post-elimination interview, Tori expressed her admiration for MTV for casting strong competitive women, further exhibiting outstanding sportsmanship when she encouraged Cam to go on and win the whole thing. Tori would go on to compete in the following season of the challenge known as Final Reckoning, in which she would have to form a team with her former boyfriend Derek. To be honest, I found it difficult to watch this season, though I thought the idea of carrying out the theme of 30-30 season and vendettas would be interesting. The execution was clumsy and, to be honest, kinda dull. In summary, the team of exes did not do so well, which I took as an excuse to quit this season altogether. Tori would have much better performances yet to come during her challenge career.
We're past the point of arguing whether she's one of the greatest, competitors on the show.
I agree. Athletically.
You know what I mean? She already won one, but like even beyond that, every season she's winning dailies, dominating in elimination.
For
so
sure.
that shouldn't even be an argument no more.
Nope.
If you want to argue her other shit, I don't know, but don't argue about her as a competitor.
Right.
Yeah.
She's
On the
one
field,
of the best.
yeah, on the field, in the arena.
She's like the female Dennis Rodman of the challenge.
Tori and Jordan began dating in 2017 due to their evident connection and attraction to each other. The couple recorded and released several love songs on Tori's YouTube channel. Their relationship seemed to be solid and content. As someone who watched the couple during the beginning of their relationship, I have to say that they were my absolute favorite pair on the challenge. I had the impression from watching their seasons together that they were a couple that got along well, where one can be stubborn, the other shows patience. In contrast to Jordan, who was blunt and occasionally considered rude, Tori was outgoing and cheerful. I frankly got the impression from seeing them together that with each other they could overcome any obstacle. In summary, I totally shipped them. After 2 years of being together, in 2019, Jordan would propose to Tori during the filming of the 34th season of the challenge, known as War of the Worlds 2. This season pits a variety of American and British competitors against one another in an attempt to win $1 million. This has to be my favorite season of the series. The cast was iconic, with the American team containing some of the best players to ever play this game, at least in recent years. The strategic gameplay and politics were messy but very fun to watch. The finale, other than a last-minute twist, did not disappoint, and I found myself cheering for the winners. The American team came in strong, winning the first challenge and the reward that followed, which, as TJ explained, was first pick of reinforcements. Reinforcement was made up of 4 players who were CT, D, Ninja, and Turbo. Turbo has won the previous challenge, and it's worth noting that the final that Turbo managed to complete and win is considered to be by far the hardest challenge final throughout the series. The power struggle within the American team would be evident from the start. While some players were passionate about choosing Turbo, others preferred CT. Turbo would ultimately join the American squad, which left CT feeling deceived and resentful of his friends and rivals on the American team, and was very motivated to join and guide the UK team to the win. This season's format was really exciting. The team that wins the daily challenges gets to send in one individual to the proving ground, where they will face off and one player will be eliminated. This allows the winning team to match the player selected by the losing team. Even more fascinating was the winner's ability to switch sides in an attempt to perform better, betraying not just their team but also, well, their country. The American team would dominate the daily challenges throughout episode 1, 2, and 3, but Wes, an American player well known for his cunning strategic gameplay, would raise suspicions among his fellow Americans who thought he was making alliances with the opposition. Which, of course, he was, but everyone else was. Laurel and Josh broke the agreement reached by the Americans, which was to simply continue voting in UK players and maintain American strength.
We're USA over everything. We vote for UK each and every time as much as humanly possible.
But players Josh and Laurel would disregard the rule and vote in West against the UK player Bear because of an argument in the house and the growing suspicion of his gameplay, which was unprepared and blindsided, giving Bear the win and shattering the American team.
I did not see this coming at all. I thought the Americans were never going to go against each other.
Karma did not wait long to come back and bite Laurel and Johnny in the During the next daily elimination, Team America, led by John and Laurel, would throw the daily challenge and give all the power to the British team, who will shock everyone and vote in Laurel to go head-to-head with fellow American contestant Ninja. What followed was the most exciting elimination of the season, where Laurel would complete the elimination first and would be declared the winner, only to find out she did not complete the task correctly, which left Ninja to take the win and send Laurel home. Johnny Bananas would catch the next plane home right after Laurel, with the American team continuing the trend of voting in their own players despite winning the daily challenges, turning against each other and losing strong competitors in the process.
It's been a devastating blow to the alliance that I pretty much created. It's going to be tough to undo the damage that's been done.
At this point, Cara Maria and Polly emerged as the pack leaders, or what fans of the show refer to as cult leaders, and dominate the season, successfully making alliance members within the British team as well as the American team. Moreover, throughout their strategic play, they managed to convince the British team to vote in some of their strongest competitors, successfully weakening them in the process. Soon, Jordan and Tori would discover that they were on the opposite end of the numbers. Additionally, Jordan would become increasingly isolated from the other contestants due to his loud personality and recent altercation with fellow co-star Turbo. He was described by the cast as unpleasant and unlikable, and they all seemed to want him to go home.
Jordan is always very loud and kind of rude. I don't know how Tori stays with Jordan because Tori's such a bubbly, funny, nice person, and Jordan is just the complete opposite.
I just don't know what's up with Jordan's attitude all the time. You do not run this house. Nobody made you boss.
Jordan. He's just a dick. He's just a smug, arrogant prick. Like, work on yourself and stop worrying about us.
It's safe to say that nobody liked him in that house. This only brought the pair closer together. With almost everyone against them, they would lean in and rely on each other more, and it was sweet to see their relationship grow and become stronger.
Me and Jordan, I feel like we have a soul contract. Yeah. Like, I just feel like something in me wants to make sure that something in him is always going to grow.
Cara Maria and Polly and their alliance members voted in Tori for elimination, while influencing the UK players to vote in Georgia, who is a very strong competitor for the UK team.
George, I've never done anything to you.
Why would you vote in one of my best players?
I would never have done anything.
Georgia!
Never.
Georgia!
If Georgia was able to lose and go home, it would weaken the UK team and make them easy to beat at the final. This just goes to show the dominating political game that Cara and Polly were playing this season, effectively controlling both teams. At the elimination, Tori takes out Georgia and becomes the first player to switch sides, officially becoming part of the British team. Jordan will go on to join Tori on the UK team after winning the next elimination, which he was voted in by, well, surprise, Cara and Polly. It's important to note how strong of a player Jordan is. He goes in against Theo, a UK professional athlete, in a duel which requires them to use a heavy hammer to complete their task. Jordan won this battle even though he is only able to use one hand. Jordan has always been an inspiration to everyone and an excellent representative of how people born with disability are unstoppable and should never be underestimated.
I really hope anyone out there with a disability, I hope you just do it. Don't let the fear of losing, keep you from doing it.
After winning, Jordan would get down on one knee and propose to Tori. In a sweet demonstration of how far their relationship have come, cast members were mostly overjoyed and happy for the couple, except for one, Cara Maria, who, whether it's due to her jealousy or the power trip that she is currently on, made rude comments and appeared very sour in the process, even calling the proposal fake and staged.
She's gonna be paying for that ring when he sabotages our team. Sorry.
Are you kidding me with that comment?
Nope. I really feel like that proposal was staged. And she already knew about it. I think they got married before they even got here.
You know they didn't do this for a freaking elimination on a challenge. This was done way before, and now they're just, woo, will you marry me? Fake as
Furthermore, competitors on either side would come together, put the game aside, and celebrate the couple's engagement. Cara opted not to show. I remember thinking how awkward that was, and that she is literally in the same house as everyone, but she refused to congratulate them. Instead, she continued to gossip with other cast members about how the whole thing was staged. Paul, on the other hand, gave the couples his best wishes and celebrated them. As an engagement party present, Tori would get voted in for elimination for the second time, this time going against the UK's strongest female competitor, Jenny, in the first ever female hall brawl. Against all odds, Tori would come up on top and continue her game with the UK team. The British team at this stage of the game is losing its strongest competitors one by one, thanks to Cara Maria, Polly, and their alliance members. Similar to Tori, Jordan would get voted in for his second elimination of the season. this time against his fellow American co-star Josh. The pair would have to compete in a game much like tug of war,
You need two hands for this. You need two great forearms.
thus putting Jordan once again in a disadvantage. At first glance, it would appear that this is Josh's elimination to win, as he was twice the size of Jordan and is blessed with two hands, allowing him more grip on the rope. Jordan would once again prove he is both physically and mentally strong, as he would outwit Josh and take him out of the game, impressing all of his castmates, including the haters.
As much as I want Jordan out of this game, I gotta give credit to him because you just beat someone who physically was supposed to beat you. He's good.
Jordan would rejoin his fiancée on the UK team and continue fighting in hopes of getting to the final. Meanwhile, Vet CT has been playing a relatively quiet game all season. He managed to stay under the radar and avoid eliminations by going with the numbers and falling in line with Polly's and Cara's alliance. However, with the final being in sight, CT would take charge of his game and decide to save Tori from her third elimination.
All I can think about was the final and how strong we would be. At some point, somebody has to be thinking about what's best for the UK team.
He did this by not voting in players from their own team, thus all of the 5 of the UK players would be going to the final. By acting in his best interest, as well as his team's, he had finally turned his back on Cara and Polly, leaving them feeling betrayed by his actions. But honestly, at this point, who cares? Cara and Polly managed to bring most of their alliance members with them at the end, but things would not go according to plan. It was time to perform, and only the strong would prevail. Gone were the days of hiding behind other players and intricate gameplay. The final consisted of 2 stages and contained an overnight portion. During the first stage of the final, the teams were asked to carry heavy weights, specifically 20 pounds for each player in their team. This was carried on a gurney. The teams were asked to complete an exhausting 16-mile hike while carrying these weights. There would be multiple pit stops in which players had to solve puzzles, compete in games, and of course go through the always gross but fascinating eating portion. After this season, I can never look at a shot glass the same way again. The UK team, which at this point was made up of Jordan, CT, Rogan, Tori, and Dee, would breeze through the first stage of the final, even overcoming a time penalty given to them by TJ for manhandling the American team during a hostile takeover during a narrow path. The Americans, on the other hand, were falling apart, much like their gurney. They would struggle carrying the weight as they had more players and thus more weights to carry. Furthermore, their communication with each other was bad, and they lacked strong players to be able to manage all the extra weight they had to carry.
Sitting in a glass of its own terrified urine and excrement, that's alive. That thing is alive. I can't do this.
Like, we have to make up time. The Brits are ahead of us. Shut up and do work.
Just put it down, all the way down. All the way down. Rest for 15 seconds.
No.
Shoulders.
All right, let's go.
The last time.
Switch sides.
You wondered why I wanted to keep strong players on this team. Now you know.
This whole season, while Paulie and Cara and their alliance tore our team apart, being terrible in the final is what I was so afraid of happening. We're just a shell of what we could be.
Cara and Polly would watch as their careful planning would all fall apart, and then Cara had to watch Polly fall apart as well.
Paulie looks like death. He's got a blank stare. He can barely walk, let alone carry anything. Like, Paulie's gonna leave this final on a stretcher.
That's serious. His body is shutting down, and I'm like, I'm not leaving him.
Polly would struggle with carrying the weights and completing the lapses. Eventually, he would become visibly ill and collapse. Cara Maria would be forced to leave him behind and rejoin her team. He would ultimately recover enough to join his team and was able to solve the puzzle portion of the race for his team, which was rather impressive considering his state earlier. The second stage of the final ended with the UK team finishing first. This stage contained a twist which absolutely broke my heart, as players were now required to partake in a final purge, which would leave each team with only 4 players. Tori would be left behind by her team as she was unable to complete the puzzle in time for her to secure a spot in the next portion of the final race.
Defeated that I had to leave my number one on shore.
The American team would lose 3 players, those being Cam, Leroy, and Ashley, all of which were a huge reason that the American team was even able to complete the first stage of the race. While Ninja did not carry as much weight, Cara struggled with math.
This is your 9th final and you're crying over a math problem? What's going on? I'm so mad at her right now, honestly, I could spit.
And Polly was, well, he was dying. These 3 players helped their team reach the finish line only to be robbed at the final moment. CT, Jordan, Dee, and Rogan would go on to win the whole thing for Team UK and share the $1 million prize amongst themselves. To quote CT, who would have thought the UK team, with 3 to 11 on the daily challenges, would have 2 Americans, an Australian, and 1 kid from the UK. They're the ones that are gonna win the final. As the final episode of this season comes to an end, I feel both happy and frustrated. Happy for Jordan to be able to come up on top after the challenging season he had.
But I don't care if you're the best player in the world. You're not the best player in the world for this team.
We're gonna throw Jordan in, have Theo handle him, and everything can just be smooth sailing moving forward.
So help me God, I'm gonna punch a hole through his face. I am desperate for your approval, Jordan. What could I do? How many eliminations do I need to do? How many wins? How many challenge wins do I need to get your approval?
This is good.
Can you trust Ashley, Cara Maria, and Polly? Well, Ashley's a thief, we know that. Polly's a compulsive liar, and Cara Maria doesn't know her own head from her ass. So I don't think that we're gonna be able to trust this tribunal.
You guys are now the tribunal.
Off Jordan?
Jordan just gets thrown under the bus. At this point, nobody's gonna side with us. We know that we're gonna have to do anything for that $1 million.
Tori and I have had the toughest season of anyone, and now we have to go against each other to stay alive.
And sad for Tori, who was so close and was robbed of her spot by a silly twist.
There's $1 million on the line, but I can't seem to make these pieces go together. All of that work we put in yesterday, all of that work I put in overnight, all the work I put in this season to go home because of a puzzle, I mean, that would suck.
Furthermore, it is my opinion that the USA team, led by Cara Maria and Polly, made 2 devastating mistakes. The first being their failure to see the bigger picture. The American team was stacked, and a betting man would bet on them easily dominating the game as well as completing the final. However, Cara and Polly opted to focus on strategy, choosing to eliminate strong teammates just because they were not in their alliance. This eventually left them with a weak team that was unable to perform. The second mistake was alienating both Jordan and Tori and practically driving them into the arms of the opposite team by continuing to antagonize them and voting them into one elimination after another. The pair felt fed up and opted to switch to the UK team, ultimately making the UK team incredibly strong. The reunion show for season 34 of The Challenge was, in my opinion, underwhelming and left much to be desired. For completion's sake, here are some of my thoughts on these 2 episodes. While Wes did not stay long in the game, his appearance in the reunion made me love him even more. From his newly grown beard to his silly feud with Johnny Bananas, those two's relationship never fails to crack me up.
Wes, you're gonna send me a DM?
Thank you. I'm gonna send your mom a DM.
Perfect. Perfect.
Cara looked stunning at the reunion, but what on earth was Paulie wearing, and why was he dancing like that?
God damn, it's so untrustworthy, Josh. God.
Is that Michael Jackson or is that Paulie?
Someone check on Paulie, please. Cara Maria stated that she did Jordan a favor by not attending their engagement party, which was, while happening in the same house they were all staying in. She explained that she felt Jordan and Tori did not like her, so her choosing not to attend was her being authentic to herself and not faking any feelings towards the couple. Thus, she indirectly called everyone else who attended despite the arguments with the couple fake. This includes Paulie, by the way, who did in fact attend and give the couple his best wishes. Oh, and side note, she still thinks the whole thing was fake and staged. Cara's alliance was in fact not a cult, but a family, a royal family. Cara expressed her gratitude for everyone in her alliance, stating that she had never felt that much trust and support in a group of people, and that it meant the world to her. I only discovered the challenge recently and have been watching each season way after each season aired. I was curious about the response this season got from the fans, considering everything that happened, all the twists, turns, and drama. I therefore did my best to investigate. Now, given that this season aired in 2019, 5 years ago, this was challenging, but I did my best. I was surprised to find out that this was Cara Maria's last season on the show. Similar to other vets, such as Wes, Johnny, who appear in damn near all seasons of the challenge, Cara has appeared in 14 seasons of the show. Her record is amazing to say the least, with only 6 losses, 19 overall eliminations, 42 daily wins, and most importantly, over $500,000 won in prize money. Why then did she abandon her challenge career after War of the Worlds 2? While I cannot be 100% confident in her reason for taking a 5-year break, I suspect it may have something to do with the negative reaction she received from her fellow castmates, as well as fans of the show once the season aired. For example, when filming in an interview for People magazine, fellow castmates Johnny Bananas and Nani commented negatively on her character, with Johnny stating that he essentially watched Cara grow up on the challenge and feels like there has been a darkness that has come over her recently.
And there really is like a darkness that's come over her recently that really has, I think, changed our relationship and just kind of
and who she is as a person.
That's so, a shame. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
While Nani gave comments such as that she had nothing good to say about her and that she doesn't like who Cara has become. Furthermore, she stated that she does not think Cara Maria is a good person, whether it's outside or inside the challenge.
I have nothing good to say about her. I don't think she's a good person, and that's outside of the game and in the game.
Fans seem to have a similar reaction to Cara, with many of them feeling like the reality star has changed over the years. For example, one comment I found on Reddit from 2 years ago reads, "I'm 100% with you. My first season was Dirty 30 and Cara was my favorite, so I went back to watch her older seasons and I really liked her. I was rooting for her on Vendettas, but after that she went downhill real fast." Additionally, The Inquisitor reported in a piece that they published that Cara has been encountering criticism on Twitter throughout the premiere of the 34th season of the challenge. This occurred because fans thought she had changed and was no longer likable as she once was. The article goes on to include a statement from Cara, which was posted on her Instagram page that reads, "As truth be told, I was not myself this season. Despite my ups and downs, my girls had my back. They didn't judge me or push me away. They kept me smiling, they kept me loved. I will never forget that. So while you may only see one side, know that we who lived it experienced something else entirely. I will never forget that. At least we know our story. Without every little piece of this crazy machine, we wouldn't be here in the end. And for everything you girls did, I will always be loyal and thankful to you. Nothing but respect." On the website of Showbiz cheat sheet, a post can be found that suggests Cara Maria wished she had never competed in this season of the challenge. Attached was a post of her Instagram in which Cara quoted the famous saying of, "You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain." At the center of the ongoing controversy was, of course, Cara's behavior towards Tori and Jordan. throughout the season, more specifically her repeated comments about their engagement being staged for attention. Her refusal to participate in the couple's engagement party turned some of her supporters against her. Furthermore, her response during the reunion when asked about the topic did not do her any favors in fixing the situation, and probably led the public to dislike her even more. Regardless of the truth, it can't be easy to hear these remarks from your peers and teammates who you've worked for a long time. They must be quite hurtful, especially because they were uttered in public and were visible to all to see. I believe this effectively created a toxic work environment that Cara Maria could not let herself rejoin. Irrespective of the specific show or series, reality TV thrives on drama that the co-stars have. The more drama, the better the viewership. Moreover, creating a villain who the viewers can rally against is equally as important. But ultimately, it is important to keep in mind that these reality TV stars are just people, and I can acknowledge that there has been points of my life that my actions were not the best. I too made rude comments and misjudged situations. Thankfully for me, however, I did not have the whole world watching. Cara Maria continues to be a fierce competitor who is dedicated to her fitness career and confident in her achievements. She has a strong base of supporters who admire her and enjoy her presence on social media. Finally, regarding the 34th season of the challenge War of the Worlds 2,
I think I've said enough.
Tori and Jordan would join the cast of the challenge season 35. Appropriately known as Total Madness, as an engaged couple.
I got engaged to the love of my life. Will you marry me? Tori is my number one. I am her number one, and I will do whatever it takes to get the girl into a final.
The host TJ Lavin declares this season to be the hardest yet to come, which is fair to say, as for the first time in the series, players would only be allowed to participate in the final if they win an elimination and earn themselves a red skull.
I'm done with people skating by. I'm done with people just going under the radar. This is the biggest twist we have ever had on the challenge. If you don't have a red skull, you ain't making the final.
What?
This season, the only way to make it into a final is to win an elimination.
When I first saw this, my mind was blown. This would completely alter the dynamics of the game. Just last season, Polly and Cara were able to breeze through to the final without once getting voted in for elimination, while Tori and Jordan each had to survive too. I found it amusing how people who had made it their mission to never face an elimination were now having to worry about whether they would receive enough votes to get voted in and fight for a red skull.
My Italian challenge career was about intimidating people to not get nominated into elimination. Earn a red skull. It's going to be harder and harder at every challenge.
My trick to win finals is not to go eliminations. So this is literally the biggest twist we've ever had in the challenge.
Now you need to go into an elimination, so you're not strategizing to stay out of it. You're strategizing to make sure you're up against the opponent you think you can beat. In the elimination, you think you could win.
This season brings back some familiar faces from the previous seasons I covered in this video, those including Jenna, Kayla, Josh, Johnny Bananas, Jenny, Georgia, Dee, Rogan, Nani, and Wes. The cast members would be staying in a kind of prison styled underground bunker with a really fancy gym. I really enjoyed the style of this season. Tori expresses her interest for fighting for a red skull from the beginning of the season. She is confident she could earn it. She strategizes with Jordan about going in against one of the rookie girls, named Jen, to strengthen her chances of winning. Jen was viewed as a weaker player due to her physique and performance in the early 2 daily challenges.
Most people think I'm the weakest one, but I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing.
Jen is giving her speech and she called herself weak. I mean, who calls himself weak? Even if you are, don't let them know you.
That said, she is stunning though. Similar to previous seasons, when given the chance, the vets would always vote in the rookies first, seeing them as easy pickings. Things get complicated when both Tori and Jenny want to go in against Jen, as they are both confident with their chances going against her. Dee has the ultimate say because she won in the previous daily challenge. Given that Dee, Jordan, and Tori ran the previous season's final together, and all of them won except for Tori and Jordan believe Dee should give Tori the chance first.
So if you just said the slate's clean, so why would Jordan be upset if I put in Jenny?
Instead of me?
Mm-hmm.
Because Jordan ran a final with you and helped you win $250,000. You didn't run that final with Jenny. You ran that final with Jordan. And you ran that final with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Dee, on the other hand, promised Jenny that she would vote her in, and she is unwilling to break that promise. In the end, Dee votes for Jenny to go in against Jen, and she easily beats her and earns her red skull, leaving Tori to wait for her next opportunity. Like in the previous season, Jordan would argue with another castmate. This time, it was Wes. As things got worse, Wes would warn Jordan that he would not back down and that he cannot communicate with him in the same manner that he speaks with Tori.
Me first.
No.
From across the room.
No.
Lie.
No.
I wasn't even talking about it. I wasn't even talking about the turn. What else do you have to say?
You will not talk to me the way you talk to your wife.
Are you kidding me? Like, how dare you, Wes, bring my relationship and Jordan into this? You guys figure out your... Don't bring me into it.
I couldn't help but think that Tori and Jordan's relationship could be a little shaky and that there might be more to this cheap dick than meets the eye. That said, the couple share an adorable conversation over a bowl of cereal where Jordan explained that his main objective this season is to get Tori to the final. Jordan probably feels some guilt over the events of last season, where they both fought equally and against all odds reached the final together, but only he got to take home the money and the title. It's important to note that Jenna is dealing with relationship issues with Zach at this point of the game. She would battle the desire to stay and compete against the need to go home and fix things with him. Jenna explains that while they were taking a break from each other, she started seeing other people, and Zach would come across certain things in her private messages that would upset him. He would insist on her leaving the game and coming home, even going as far as giving her an ultimatum, which I thought was selfish considering that she had already entered this season, had made the lengthy journey, and was performing rather well in the game. The situation led to many of her fellow castmates to believe that she was checked out mentally and thus an easy win. Tori, eager to earn her red skull and believing that she could take out Jenna, especially in her current state, would volunteer herself into elimination against her.
But I would really be honored if all of you would give me this opportunity to go fight for my red skull.
Yeah, screw it. I'll vote for Tori.
Tori. This is not a game about politicking. This is a game about proving yourself. You're gonna go into elimination one way or another, and I honestly believe that I have the upper hand.
During the elimination, Tori would put up a great fight, giving her best to complete the task ahead, with Jordan rooting for her, and while sometimes yelling at her from the stand.
Tori, you want them to smash flat. You gotta take big tricks. You don't win tricks. Come on.
Jordan is throwing a lot of information at me right now, and I'm trying to listen and interpret it the best I can, but he's kind of like rocking my boat a little bit.
Even though the elimination round would be close, Jenna would push through and win, earning her red skull and spot in the final. She would send Tori home at such an early stage of the game. Jordan and Tori would have to bid each other goodbye for the time being.
I did the best I could. Please, please don't talk to me or not. I did the best I could. I gave it everything I had, okay? Everything. Everything.
I know you did. You did great.
I know you're upset, but listen, I did everything I could. No, I did listen, Jordan.
No, you did great. You did great. You did great.
This touching exchange between them demonstrated how much they value one another and simply want what's best for each other. It broke my heart to see Jordan say that the challenge house wouldn't be the same without his other half, and Tori saying that she did her best to fight so she wouldn't have to leave him alone in that house. At this point of their relationship, their bond seemed to be truly unbreakable.
What makes me so sad is just Jordan being back in that house. And I just feel so sorry that I can't be there for him, and I feel like I let him down.
This, however, will not be the end of their journey together, as better and worse things were yet to come. Now, this video is meant to be about Tori's journey on the challenge. However, seeing how Jordan is such a big part of her life, I wanted to follow up his journey during this season, and I am grateful I did. With two of the most experienced players working together, those being Johnny Bananas and Wes, and a double elimination happening, things would not go down well for Jordan.
These two geezers have been playing this game for a long time, and it's been a while since either one of them has got a win. But you got two very old OGs now working together. That's kind of scary.
Wes, who was still resentful of Jordan after the argument they had earlier in the season, and Johnny, who was afraid of facing off against Jordan in the final, would send him down to elimination. I would be completely okay with this, as this is how the game goes. Get rid of your strongest competition, and Jordan was surely strong. However, Wes and Jordan would opt to send Jordan against a rookie player known as Fessy, who was by far the largest and most physically strong player in the house.
Everybody has to go in, I understand that. So at the end of the day, if you have to say my name, if that's best for your game, say that. But just know, like, there's a very high chance I'm probably just coming back. Seeing these eliminations, and I haven't seen one that I can't win.
Not only this, but the game to be played involved grouping into a ring and taking it from your opponent. Jordan would go in with determination and zero fear.
My good hand is underneath, my bad hand is up top. I have to hold this pole with my wrist. So this is going to be literally just a push or pull or twist situation.
But it would be evident that he could not win this. After losing the first round to Fessy, Jordan would suffer a shoulder injury after Fessy basically fell on him with all of his weight during the struggle. Anyone else would have just quit, but not Jordan, who was down a hand as well as the shoulder of the arm he was using to grip the ring with. His fellow castmates would cheer him on with admiration and horror for the situation he finds himself in. But at last, Jordan would exit the competition and I would cry a little bit. All in all, not a good season for Tori and Jordan, but things would change soon.